In Apogee, new jobs typically begin in the layout program. When the designer begins a new job, a folder is created which will hold all job information files. Client information for the project can be entered here in Layout or later in Apogee Job Summary. In General Defaults, the designer sets up defaults such as overhang and cantilever dimensions, truss spacing, and dimension entry criteria. In the wall setup portion of defaults, wall material, size, and height are identified. Of course, any of the defaults can be edited later. Once defaults are set up, the designer is ready to model the building, beginning with wall input. Wall input is normally accomplished by using the keyboard and mouse to provide direction and distance for each individual wall. Wall input can also be done by importing a DXF template and then tracing around the template. The designer can also set up column grid lines and input walls on those grid lines. The next step in the modeling process is to add roof planes to some of the walls. The designer defines the planes with the proper pitch and offset or heel height, and then clicks on the appropriate wall to place a plane on that wall. The planes are then view-cut or solved against surrounding planes to form the three-dimensional model of the roof. These roof planes will define the shape of the roof trusses. Here, the designer adds an interior bearing wall. He then edits that wall, along with the gable wall, to reflect actual job conditions for overhang and cantilever links. Now it's time to input the roof trusses. Using the Hip Set tool, the designer quickly frames in the ends of the building. Then, using another tool, he fills the open area between the hip ends, and with only 7 clicks of the mouse, the main building is framed. Trusses extending into the wing are shortened to end on the interior bearing wall. Common trusses are input along the wing of the building. And then valley trusses, or overframing, complete the main roof framing. Here, the designer changes the outside truss to a gable-style truss, drops the top down to allow room for rafters to cross the gable, and extend to the eave line. The rafters are input as normal trusses, and then change to rafters. The interior common truss that serves as one bearing for the rafters is changed to a girder so that once in the design program, it will be properly loaded with reactions from the rafters. Since the combination of cantilever and overhang is rather long on this building, additional support is required for some of the corner trusses. This support will be provided through a structural fascia member. Using the structural fascia tool, the designer quickly inputs the members that will support the trusses and accurately transfer loads. Finally, having placed all required framing elements, the designer labels the trusses and exports them. The exported trusses will be opened and engineered in the design program.